One.
Boom, boom, boom. This is Jared, and I'm back. Hey, I'm your host of Warriors Quest. This is Jared A. Brown, and I'm excited to bring you another show tonight. We've got a kidney warrior who's just coming from, 30 minutes east of LA in California, where it's like 90 degrees right now. I'm super jealous, but I'm excited to bring on this guy. He's been putting his battle in for the last 5 years, and I'm excited to bring his story to the forefront and get his story out there. Welcome to Warriors Quest, Cameron. It's Cameron Persaud. Thank you for coming on to Warriors Quest.
Oh,
Can you hear me okay, Cameron?
absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's great to have you. So, again, I'm a
Yeah,
little
can
jealous
you
of the
hear me?
weather. Yes, I can hear you well. Can you hear me okay? All right, there seems to be just a slight delay. I'm hoping that maybe that um, I'm hope I'm hoping that doesn't continue, but maybe if you
I
were
do
to
have a little bit of a delay, but I can hear you well.
okay, all right. Well, hopefully it's not too big of a problem. If it is, let's have you just log out, then log back, click on the link again, and come back. But maybe that will solve the issue if you do that. All right, so Cameron, I think it might be better if you log back out. There we go. He's going to log out and then come back in, folks, so we can make sure there's not too much of a delay. But we've got Cameron Persaud, who's our guest tonight, and I'm telling you, this is going to be a show that you're going to like to watch. What I'm doing tonight, as you can see, is I'm wearing pink. All right, bright pink. All right, so I'm. Can you hear me okay now, Cameron?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So I'm wearing bright pink today, and it's a tribute to breast cancer awareness for the month of October. God bless my mother; she died of breast cancer, and so I've got the bright pink on in tribute to breast cancer awareness. But of course, kidney disease awareness is always at the forefront of my thoughts because of my sister-in-law, and so I'm excited to bring your story to the forefront. Can you introduce yourself and let's get this story told? That let's get your voice heard.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. My name is Cameron Persaud. I'm currently 32 years old. I was diagnosed 2015. I had no idea what that was. I was absolutely clueless. I actually thought I had the flu, and my mother took me to the hospital after unable to hold any liquids down and food. Said, "Oh, you have a stomach virus, antibiotics, you'll go." So I thought, great. And then the doctor returned maybe 15 minutes later and said, "Actually, we got your lab results back, and your kidneys aren't functioning very well with us." So that led days in the hospital, catheter placed, going home as a dialysis patient. So just a huge lifestyle change immediately. I was used to being very active, avid athlete, was in the gym every day, ate well. So it just completely just rocked my world, and I was just flabbergasted. Really, I
Wow.
didn't know where to go forward from there.
Uh huh.
Um, so yeah, so moving forward, it's obviously it's progressed now, and I'm unable to work, but I'm trying to stay as busy as I and really it's just adjusting to the lifestyle kidney transplant.
All right. All right. So it sounds like it totally changed your world, changed your life, changed everything because of what's happened. And so, how long has it been since you found out? How long have you had kidney disease then, or how long has it been since they diagnosed you with kidney disease? I should say.
I was diagnosed July of 2015.
Okay, all
So,
right.
like you said, it was a huge surprise. No one in the family had it. I didn't even know what kidney disease was, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
So it's just a huge lifestyle change that kind of happened overnight for me.
Wow. So with it changing everything, how, give us an idea of how that's really kind of altered your life and changed things on so many levels. Can you give us an idea of how it's changed anything from your job, your what you do for a living to what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. So right off the bat, I thought it wasn't too big of a change because I still really didn't understand the disease. As time went on and the obviously the disease started to progress, obviously physically I was unable to do a lot of the things that I used to do. I ended up losing over like 70 pounds. I didn't have the energy to work anymore. Just a lot of things that I really enjoyed doing, I found myself unable to do. So
Uh-huh.
that itself was a big lifestyle change because it kind of messes with you emotionally and psychologically. And if you're not careful, you fall into the depression and the feeling sorry for yourself and the why me questions and things like that.
Right.
So I would say that's probably been the biggest change for me. It's just learning to adjust with the everyday changes, the new side effects from the medications, and having the patience to know that it's not the end. Has been quite a task and kind of developing that mental strength in order to move forward and deal with your condition.
Okay. All right. Wow. So and this is good information because I do understand what you're saying. Is that it can be easy to say woe is me, and you may have days where you do have those thoughts, and it can be easy to fall into a period of time where you're thinking, why do I have to overcome this this obstacle that seems like an insurmountable sort of obstacle, and it can be very
Right,
easy
right.
to have those dark thoughts, and it is a very, very difficult and slippery slope. Um, what have you done in the time that you've had kidney disease to get yourself back up? When perhaps there is a day that maybe is a down day where maybe emotionally it just is very difficult for you.
Mm.
Can you hear me okay, Cameron?
I would say the first thing is I really grounded myself with family and friends. I found those family members and those good friends that often just make me feel better regardless of the situation. Fail to see it, the light into the tunnel, see it yet. From that, as many of the hobbies, just playing music or writing or just being outdoors. Um, I may not be able to do it to the capacity I once was able to, but just to get
Uh
out and
huh.
do some of it, it kind of keeps you going a little bit, gives you something to look forward to. I also have one of my best friends who donated a kidney to his aunt last year. So I confide in him quite a bit with the process. We talk quite a bit about it, and we've actually written a small book together. That's
Oh
from all the
wow.
things my kidney has taught me, and it's on it's on Amazon, and really it
Okay.
wasn't to make money off of, but just to
Yeah.
share both sides. That some days are
Okay.
good days and bad days, but if you kind of look for the positive, you can keep going.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So this must be like somebody that you can confide to. You can confide in him. You're able to use him as support. And how big is it when you have somebody that is such a good friend, somebody that you've bonded with? It is how big is it, and how instrumental is it for you that you have somebody like that who's been through this experience already?
I'd say it's everything. I think it means the world. Because of how much your family loves you, surrounded by that person you can go to honest with. You know, that are hard to tell your family members, or you don't want them to know things you're experiencing or facing and whatnot. And to have a friend who understands because he's been there or has a very good understanding of it, I would say it means
Yeah.
everything. It changes the whole scenario.
Wow. Very nice. It sounds like he is, kind of a big foundation. It's a foundation of support for you, and your family
Absolutely. Yep.
seems like another great source of strength for you. Additionally, and that's great.
Absolutely.
When you've got a great firm foundation of support, and your family is involved, man, that could be strong. That can really lift you up in so many different ways.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
what's
Absolutely.
great? So I'm hoping that if your family's watching right now, I want to thank them. Thanks for supporting this kidney warrior, because he's going through quite a bit, and
Definitely.
I appreciate all of your family that does give you the day-to-day support that you need. That's awesome.
Absolutely an amazing family. I mean, honestly, I don't think I would be in this battle if it wasn't for them. I mean, they're just
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times they're there before I even reach out, and they're just the greatest support group I think I could ever imagine having, and I'm positive that I'm gonna get through this, because they're so amazing.
Okay. Very nice. Uh, Again, that is just inspiring to hear that you've got support like that with your family. Can you tell us of some, days, or can you give us an experience that perhaps your family has lifted you up in the recent, I don't know, the recent year or in the last couple of years that have, that has been really something that has meant something to you, or has given you the lift that you needed on one day, or maybe in a period of your life in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's like it seems honestly. I mean, it seems cliche, but it's literally every day. There's things the call when I need someone to talk to. Mom's making what I haven't thought to eat for the day. She can just tell when I'm not feeling well. The little stuff that I would probably forget to do for myself. That somehow,
Okay.
some way, they just know when to call, when to check in, to make sure I've eaten, to make sure I've taken my meds for the day.
Uh-huh.
It's just the little stuff that a lot of times you overlook or you forget when you're dealing with so much on your plate and there's so much on your mind that you can forget a lot of those things. So the
Right.
fact that they just somehow know when to do it and their timing's always perfect, it's amazing. I'm beyond blessed. And like I said, I'm positive that I wouldn't be as strong as I am if it wasn't for my team, if it wasn't for my family.
Wow, that's great. That is inspiring to hear. And seriously, big ups to your family for giving you that kind of support,
Definitely.
because what you go through every day is not easy. It is a battle. Every single day is when you've got the gloves
Right.
on and you're battling. Um, So, what I'd like to get back to, if I can, though, Cameron, is that you've mentioned to us that, that it's changed your
Right.
life, and you've given us some examples. But how has it changed in regards
Sure.
to, how you make a living? Because in many cases, people don't quite understand, your limitations in regards to how this disease can turn you upside down that way.
Right. 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 Um. Well, of course, there's from disability or maybe other government supported income. Um, but at the same time, it goes back to also having those amazing supporters. The being on disability, they may give you enough just to kind of get you by, but in reality, you know the pages and the financial support pages, the GoFundMe, the the fundraisers, the organizations
Gotcha.
that
Uh-huh.
just that everyone or position just kind of explores all resources. Yeah, I mean, explore all your resources. Maybe you have essentially help. Maybe there's some organizations, or maybe you could do a photo, but it's not easy. It's coming to you around doing nothing. An effort as well, especially with the donation costs. There's usually some costs that come with that as well that you have to prepare for. So you definitely have to do your homework and definitely have to prepare and just hope you can build a great support system.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, and I mean, with the with what you're doing right here and your attitude, I really like the kind of attitude that you're portraying. If you can keep that
Thank you.
attitude, and again, it's not easy, and I love that your family is keeping you going. They're encouraging you. Encouragement is something that it can be invaluable, and I love that, and I like your attitude. So especially when you're not when you're not able to do the sort of thing that you used to do before, and you're now on and you're doing disability, that doesn't you're not letting the disease define you, and that's what I
Right.
love.
Right.
Even though you're on disability, that doesn't mean that you're unable. You're not letting you're not letting this disease call you restricted, or that you can't do things. You're still trying to get out there and go
Right.
outside. You're still trying to
Right.
be fit, and you're still putting forth so much effort, and you're not letting this disease control you. And I love that. So give us an idea of
Right.
what you have planned,
Right. Thank
what
you.
you
Thank
want to
you.
do. You're welcome.
um, you know, I would say honestly right now my biggest goal for the future is just to be healthy. I would my family is sacrificed and given so much that I would just love to be healthy enough to return in the best of my ability to parents are getting older and they're gonna need the support they've given me and ability. I
All
know
right.
if I do those things that are close to my heart, that everything else is gonna fall into place and everything else is gonna be okay.
Nice. Well said. Again, I applaud you for keeping that sort of attitude, and moving forward in a direction where you just want to be able to keep that sort of attitude and that optimistic and positive sort of direction. Now, I'm a big advocate, and I'm a big proponent of following light. All right. And what I mean by that, Cameron, is that, when you follow the
Mm.
light, all right, it's going to be more powerful to follow light than darkness. If you follow what I'm saying, and, if you feel me. And if you follow things that are positive, if you follow things that are good, that are
Mm-hmm.
basically going to give you encouragement, things that are going to lift you up. These are things of light. When you follow the light, it's going to help you follow a better path than following things that may provide darkness and shadow, if you know what I mean. And so your family's had a great part in that. And you're doing your part in keeping yourself motivated and keeping your boxing gloves on, so to speak, and you're battling. How has doing dialysis? Can you give us an idea of you know what modality of dialysis, and can you talk to us about you know what dialysis means in your life right now? Do you do in-center dialysis or do you do dialysis at home?
I call it my enemy. I've done I started doing hemo, and that
Mm-hmm.
went well full time. I was a full time student, so it was just that the schedule just became really constricting. About 2 years into hemo dialysis, I switched, and I switched to home hemo, thinking it would free up my schedule a little more, flexibility, and it did. But the issue with home hemo is that you need a partner. You need someone who can
Okay.
supervise you, help set up the machine, cannulate you, all those good things. But still working being a full time student, my and we would start like 11 at home, commuting the hour, start dialysis, and of course you're up to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
So mom
wow.
has to be right, and mom has to be up and be at work at 8, and it was just too
Yeah.
taxing. I couldn't watch her go through that, so I opted to go
Okay.
back to the center, which is what I'm doing now. I'm back doing in center hemo,
Uh-huh.
and it works, because currently I'm not working. Mom gets to rest at night. I go early in the morning, knock it out, have the day done. But
Okay.
as, as far as what it means in your life is challenging. It's that battle you get up and go fight 3 4 days a week, and hoping that
Mm-hmm.
you win and come out feeling well enough to enjoy the rest of your day. So it's definitely a struggle.
Right. It is part of the battle. You're right. Because it's another part of the battle. And and again, you brought in, you've said some things that many other kidney warriors say, and you're right. You're supposed to feel well after dialysis, but some days you don't feel as well as others. You may come away from having been at dialysis and you may be physically wiped out and you don't feel well, and you may feel better, after you've rested. It just really depends, because other kidney warriors talk about how it affects them differently each time. It's not the same time. It's not. You react differently every time. And it depends upon the technician. It depends upon the day, so on and so forth. Now, you may already know this, but Medicaid just approved it that people can now do the home
Right.
hemo alone, and
So true.
they don't need another person. It's now approved by Medicaid that you can do home hemo alone now, or Medicare. I Medicaid. It's Medicare. I apologize for having misspoken. I've just caught myself. So you can now do that alone, and you don't have to have
Okay.
another person do it, with you. So it
Okay.
has changed just a little bit. But but anyway, I do understand that having somebody else with you,
Mm.
that can seem very
Okay.
taxing for the other person.
Man, look back into that. Yeah, absolutely.
So cool. So thank you again. Thank you for sharing your story. I want to thank you for talking to us about your story.
Sure.
I'm thankful for your family for
Thank you for
encouraging
having me.
you, and yeah, absolutely. What are some things that that you're now that you would like to do to make sure that we move forward? What are some things that you would like to have happen? Obviously, you want to feel well with being at dialysis, and some days that's not going to happen. But ideally, you want to feel well. What is your timeline, and what would you like now? If you had like superpowers and you could have a transplant as soon as possible, and you got transplanted, okay, and we're talking about something that you had control over, what would happen after you had your transplant? What would happen afterwards, and what would you envision your life?
I would tell them driven and have big dreams and goals that sometimes sometimes they can be derailed, and sometimes they should go. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not gonna, come for tuition, or that it's not gonna happen. So I would love to be able to, you know, talk to all people, but especially are battling a disease, typically kids. It's just another, it's roadblock. Believer that happened for a reason. It makes us who we are. That's all I look at. It's a mountain to be moved. I'm gonna move it, and then I'm gonna share my story and tell others how they can move theirs as well.
All right, right on, right on. Well, I'm happy to have you on Warriors Quest, and I want to get your story out there and give you as much exposure as we can. And as part of that, I'd like to have everybody who's watching this to click the share button, and let's get his story out there to as many people as possible. Because Cameron, you deserve, with your family, with your life in general, you're somebody who needs to have a better quality of life, something to look forward to, like you're talking about. I want that for you, and so let's get as many people sharing as possible. Some of the ways that we can do that is not only to click the share button, and friends, family, everybody, let's click the share button. We can also share by making sure people know the transplant contact information. At Urban Health Outreach Media Network, we're displaying that across the screen, so anybody who sees that can also share that information, as well as sharing the link for the show tonight. Now, there are so many other different ways that you can share. You're an entrepreneur, and you know a lot of different ways, so I'm not probably telling you anything you don't already know. You can wear T-shirts that promote, your need for a kidney donor. There are ways to make sure that people know. But the other way that I really want people to know about in regards to getting the word out there is doing some watch parties with this very broadcast. The cool thing about watch parties is that if you just click the share button, you share this, that's great. But it can actually be very powerful if you have one of your friends, family members, Cameron, and they start a watch party and they replay this very broadcast in a watch party. And so it would make me extremely, extremely happy to see a bunch of watch parties that are created because of this broadcast as replays. Because, again, you're an entrepreneur. You've done some work on your own with World Shaker. What kind of other outside the box thinking can you tell people to do as well, besides what maybe I've already talked about, to share the word that you need a kidney donor?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always encouraging people just to start a conversation, because it's not just myself, but there's us who are all in need of a kidney, and, and I think it's a topic that probably gets talked about, and just because I encourage people to, people ask me like, well, what's your condition called, and about it. So I think the more we talk about it, the more information that's out there regarding transplant, and maybe it's not as extensive as a lot of people think it may be. Some people are the impression I'm going to be in a hospital for 6 months if I donated the kidney. That's not the case. So, I'm always telling people, if you're interested, look it up. And I think, better place we'll all be in.
Okay, all right. Well, again, I'm super happy that you've come on the show for Warriors Quest. I'm hoping that we come together for this warrior, everybody. Let's show Kameron that we can get his story out there. Let's come together and be united. Please share this with the large Facebook groups. Share this as a watch party and replay this. Let's get this story out there. Let's share his transplant contact information. And even if you're not the right blood type, okay, let's make sure that you understand that his hospital is accepting the paired exchange program. So a paired exchange program can really get this rolling and help multiple lives. And I'm sure Kameron wants to help in some ways for himself, but if we have a paired exchange program, then this can actually be it could be very advantageous for not just Kameron, but many people that can be connected with different states, multiple states that are connected with different transplant hospitals. So please, let's come together, regardless of the donor blood type. Get in touch with the transplant hospital, and let's get some people that call that phone number, and let's get people that are contacting them, becoming a donor, whether it's from Kameron or for someone else. Let's start this paired exchange program, and let's get this lit like a firecracker. Well, Kameron, it's been awesome having you on Warriors Quest. Again, I'm honored to have you as a guest. I'm super excited that your family has been a great support and of encouragement. What kind of shout outs would you like to do? Who would you like to shout out for today?
Oh, definitely all of my family, my mom, my dad, younger brother, grandparents, auntie. Love you guys all so much. Couldn't do it without you guys. And of course, the extended friends, my best friends are always checking on me, making sure that I'm still getting out and, not cooping myself up in the house. So I just appreciate all the love and support, everyone who's praying, everyone who's donated in any type of fashion. I love you sincerely. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on Warriors Quest. It's been a pleasure. The pleasure has been mine. I'm going to do everything I can for you, Kameron, to get this story out there, get it to reach as many people as possible. You're welcome. Hey, God bless you, brother. Thanks for coming on again.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Hey, everybody. It's been awesome. Again, thank you for watching Warriors Quest. This is a very unique story of somebody who's been an athlete, somebody who's been extremely fit, somebody who has really had his life turned upside down, and 5 years ago has faced kidney disease and has now on a daily basis had to face it and has had to battle it. Has not done it alone because he's had family. He's had a friend who's been through this journey as well, and can give him support because this friend has gone through it as well. This has been a great story, but the story does not have to end, okay? This story needs to continue where we need to make sure that his contact information for the hospital is sent out as much as possible. We're talking about somebody who needs to have as much support from all of the kidney warriors in this community so that they can call and speak with Keith, his transplant hospital coordinator, and get things rolling. Now, everybody, thank you for watching Warriors Quest. This show would not be successful without your support, without your following, but most of all, it needs its support for Kameron tonight. All right, God bless you, Kameron. God bless you, brother. I want the best for you, and I want everybody to want it as passionately as I do. So God bless everybody. Thank you for watching this show. Peace. I'm out.